Hello and welcome. We are
The Sisters of the Holy Fiber. This is episode 3. My name is Devin, and I am also known as Rambunctious Guy on Ravelry.
and I'm Heather, also known as Tiny Kiwi on Ravelry. So grab your crochet, knitting, needle, felting, whatever, and join us while we craft and chat. Thanks for coming by.
So, what you got on the needles?
I haven't made any progress at all with my owl, so I'm going to be working on that while we podcast. It's been staring at me guiltily. I haven't done anything with it. I've tried to pick up the stitches a couple times and then been short 1 or 2 stitches, and it just drives me so nuts that I keep putting it aside.
And this is the shawl, the fiber dirty shawl?
The one that's based on Fibonacci, so it's a combination of Fibonacci's name and nerdy.
Yes.
Fibonacci? Yeah, I guess so. But I did make progress, a little more progress on the one project I'm not supposed to be working on, which is my Miss Jane's hat. And I was thinking, I forgot there's actually another Jane hat. There's the Jane of, brown coats and all that Jane hat that's more popular. But that's not what I'm working on. I'm working on Jane Austen's hat.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see if I can actually show you. I've got 3 pattern repeats done now.
Yeah, it's dark.
Okay, well, let me put the light on. Let's see if I can show you. At least a little more of the cable.
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. Anyway, it's coming along. It's getting there. I think I'm probably going to need the largest size because I want it to be pretty slouchy. But We'll see as we go along and add more pattern repeats. Because I think the smallest size was 4 pattern repeats, which is going to be way too small for my head.
Well, maybe for a kid or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you have a small head. I have kind of a medium size, so I just have to do a little more. And I want it slouchy. Some other people made theirs a little tighter. I want mine to be really slouchy, so the bigger the better. So I just got to keep plugging away at that.
And what yarn is that? I forgot.
That's the Malabrigo Va.
In that pretty, pretty dark green.
Yes, which I love and highly recommend. It's a joy to work with. I haven't had any problems at all with it yet. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be too dark of a green, but it's showing those cables really nice.
Exactly. It's got just enough variegation to, I don't know, that it's not overwhelmingly variegatedly, where if you use a variegated yarn, some of those bright variegations look kind of wonky, but it looks really good. I got kind of a dark dye lot, though, too, so if you are going to get your own, be cautious of that, and I would buy it in person so you can make sure you're actually getting a match, because, even at the store that I got this at, each skein was a little different, so just be careful if you make a big project with it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I should be able to make this hat with no problem. 1 skein. So, what else I think? That's all that I'm working on, because I haven't cast on my Rosaline hat either. I'm so behind.
Is that's the one for your Phoenix?
Yeah. This one is the 2-part mission for the Phoenix for the Harry Potter cup. For those of you who haven't joined the Harry Potter group.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about owls and missions and classes or homework, and that's all related to that Ravelry group. Check them out if you get a chance. We really love them. They're really great for motivation.
Yes.
But I haven't cast that on yet because it involves a new cast on I haven't worked yet.
Oh.
Judy's Magic Cast On.
Oh, that one is so cool.
I haven't tried it yet, so I'm very excited to.
I'm excited for you.
All right, I got out my Cast On Bind Off book. Who's it by? Leslie Ann Bestar. I love this book. Let me see if I can get it on camera.
I can see it. Yeah.
Because I'm essentially a beginning knitter, so it's really helpful. It's got really helpful sort of pictorial instructions as well as the written, which helps me because I'm really visual. Let's see if I can get it in screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because, a lot of the written instructions, if it's just written, I have no idea what they're talking about. So this helps I've only had a little trouble with one. I can't even remember what thing it was, where the instructions were a little confusing for me, but then I just backed it up with looking online and it was fine. But for everything else I've done, like I did a stretchy bind off for the first time out of this book and I loved it. So, but that's all I'm working on right now. What have you got that's on the needle? Or hook, or whatever?
No crochet.
Okay.
I thought about it, but it didn't happen. Probably next month, I'll have some crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Just the same two things. I've just been in a more of like a big project place. I'm not really in a small project place. I just keep thinking of like all these giant things. I want to make 2 blankets. I don't know when I'm gonna do that, but anyway.
Yeah.
So this is where my Gemini is at, and I've got the first part of the body done.
It's looking good.
And I tried it on the other day, and it fits. So this is my Gemini top that it's got lace panel in the top, and then it's straight down, and it's a free pattern on knitty.com. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it later, but I was very excited that it fit when I put it on some holders and put it on me. And I have perfected for the first time ever knitting in the dark on this. So, I was at my opera class, which I mentioned last week, where we just sit and listen to opera. I tell people I'm taking an opera class, and they're like, oh, so you're learning how to sing opera? I'm like, no. That's like a workout learning how to sing opera. I'm just sitting there and listening to the opera.
That and it's an entire discipline all by itself. Like, if you want to learn opera, it's not just one class. It's like a whole... It's a whole lot of stuff you gotta learn.
But that's easier to talk,
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I have to learn how to sing first. Like, I can sing, but, like, you have to learn how to sing to be an opera singer. Anyway, so in this class, she turns off, like, the teacher talks about things, and then she turns off the lights and we watch a video.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought my knitting, and 2 weeks ago, like, for our first class, like, whenever the video was playing, I just didn't knit. And this time, I tried to just knit. And the project that I'm working on, it's just all knit. So I don't have to pay attention, like, there's nothing, no increases, decreases, purls, whatever, you just knit and around and around and around and around. So I was really, really excited that I could knit in the dark.
That's pretty cool.
I got a lot of work done in those 2 hours that we were doing. So you'll see me moving that around, because that's what I'm working on right now. And then I cast on my owl. Had I cast this on last time?
What's your owl again?
The sweater. The sashiko sweater.
No, you had just done your swatch, and I told you to make a bigger swatch. Did you make a bigger swatch?
No. I cast on because why not just cast on and knit a couple inches, and that'll be my swatch. Because really, like, you need to knit big anyway for a swatch, so just cast it on and see if I've got gauge. So this is all I have. It's about 1.5 inches of ribbing. I changed the ribbing pattern on the bottom so that I could have an extra, anyway, just so that when I sew it together, it will look nice. So I took Deborah Newton's finishing school, and it was a class that she gave. And one of the things she talks about is thinking about how you're going to finish something before you even start it. So this way, when I sew up the side seams, it will look the way that I intend.
Right.
So those are the 2 things I've been working on. I've been thinking about casting on some socks, but I know I won't be able to finish them before the month is over, so I might cast those on next month, which is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, and don't forget that next month is our shorter month.
Yeah.
So it's easy to forget and then plan that you're going to have a whole month and then be a couple days short.
Yeah.
So.
And, like, I'm trying to get this Gemini finished. I have a week. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Yeah. You might actually get done if you crank at it.
Yeah, no, I might. I mean, I've come a long way, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our projects of the moment.
Yep.
And do you have anything else that's on your needles or crochet hook or mat board or whatever?
Mm, I'm trying to think if I have any not fiber crafts that I started, but I don't think I have anything right now. I keep thinking about all the things I want to do, but then I'm trying so hard to focus on getting these 3 knit projects done that I'm not doing anything else, even though I'm dying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Sorry if
one of
I.
the good things for the cup, focusing.
Yeah, it's true. I've never focused so hard on projects before in my life.
I
So,
know.
other than in metalsmithing class, but that's different because that's a class. So,
Yeah. Oh,
sure
if
has.
it's for a class, I get things done if it's for a class and I got a deadline. If for some reason, like a deadline and a teacher make it happen, which is probably
I,
why, like, it's a deadline and a teacher and in Harry Potter knit crochet house cup, and that's why it's happening.
exactly. It's so funny. It's like we don't earn anything except, it's so strange that we need, the motivation of a class and a teacher and other people, I guess, to get things done. So,
I don't know if that's what it takes. I don't care. I'll do it.
yeah. Oh, sorry if I keep looking down on the video. I dropped a stitch on purpose to go back and try to fix a mistake. So that's what I'm up to.
Okay.
Um, that's it. So what about finished objects? It's a bird.
I
It's a
haven't made any.
plane.
No, I have. No, I don't have
It's a
anything. But
finished
I
object.
think you do.
I do.
Oh, so tell us about it.
So let me get it in camera and put some light on it because it's white. I'm not sure it's going to show up.
Oh, it's so cool. I just saw it for a second.
I was gonna say it's kind of hard because it's all white, and this is my crocheted cowl. It's I think it's called the Catsby cowl. The guy who was part of the gunpowder plot. I can't remember if I'm saying his name right. I'm just trying to get. I'm trying to get so you can see the raised stitches. So you crochet into the back of the stitch only instead of the whole stitch to make this line of raised little nubbins here. It kind of is to imitate knitting, but since crochet is so much faster for me, this is what I did. Because this counts for the Quidditch speed trials. So that's what I did. This is supposed to be a 3-hour cowl, but in reality it took me about 5 hours.
That's still way faster than I would crochet that.
I know, but I was planning for it to be 3. Because she said that other people sometimes even took 2. So I was like, all right, well, I can usually crank through. I'm not as fast as Tracy or somebody who's like a super crocheter.
Super crocheter!
Right, but I sat down and it took me 3 solid hours of crocheting and then another 2 hours of like stop and go while I was doing laundry. But I really like how it came out. Let me grab the yarn label so I can remember what this is. This is some of the wool I got gifted from one of the people on Ravelry. We did a sort of mini swap.
Uh-huh.
And this is what I got. Ton of Wool by Mrs. Gusset. It's 10 ply. It's supposed to be Iran weight. I don't know if you can see the label.
Yeah, you gotta hold it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'll link to it in the show notes. But it's almost a worsted, but it has a very slight variation occasionally where it gets a little thicker, a little thinner, but not so bad that it affects your project. But it was so nice to work with, like little bit of heaven in your hand.
Good.
I'm pretty sure it's not even dyed. I think it's just, wool. So if I get tired of it being white or if I stain it or something, I might end up trying to dye it. So that should be interesting. Anyway, but it's 100% Cormo wool made exclusively in Australia. From sheep to skein, it says. So one of those where they're trying to keep the whole wool process in one place. Mm-hmm. So a nice thing to support, too. Anyway, yeah. I also recommend the pattern, Catsby Cowl. I'll link to that as well.
It's really pretty. I'm jealous. I should
It
make
was,
myself one, but now the speed trial's over, but now I still want to make one. Maybe
well,
I'll just be really, really late.
it doesn't matter, it's really cool, and it'd only take you if you sat down a day,
Yeah.
So even if you're a slow knitter and you're even slower than it took me, which was 5 hours, or crocheter, then you should still be able to get it done in a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super comfortable. And she gives you instructions if you want to size it up or size it down, depending on what yarn you're using.
Mm-hmm.
So, mine worked out okay though. I'm
Well,
really
my
happy.
stash is so pitiful. I don't know if I could even find anything. I suppose I could look. I'm sure I got something.
Well, and even I'm sure you could find a worsted wool in anything. You can't tell me you don't have worsted wool.
I might not.
Wow, you really have
my stash is real. Is no bueno.
Yeah.
I need more yarn.
Yeah, I don't know if I could agree to that. Although you are cranking through your projects, so maybe yeah. Because I just saw that giant bag of Knit Picks yarn that you got, so
I am using that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And besides, I have to get new stuff for our segments. See?
Yeah. Or you could just come raid my stash.
Uh-huh. Like you would let me.
I would. I'm trying. I have so much of the cheaper acrylic and stuff.
I don't want cheaper acrylic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want to use it either, So there was talk in the Slytherin common room of doing a yarn bomb for someone's combine.
Uh-huh.
Someone's husband's combine, but he had to wait till the threshing or whatever was over before we could cover it. But then I haven't heard anything back, so he might have actually changed his mind, because it was kind of iffy to begin with.
Mm.
Because it's a real piece of equipment, and when you need a farm, you need it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a little disappointed, because that's what I was planning to use up a lot of my cruddy acrylic on.
Mm-hmm.
But I might just make some blanket squares or something and donate them.
Yeah.
So, because they do...
And, one of the things that I did is I found people on Rav who wanted it.
Right.
Some people like that yarn. So,
yeah.
More power to them. Here you go. Have it.
What? Oh, yeah. I do have... I use it for projects and stuff, and like the... mug wrap that was half acrylic. It's just that I'm trying to switch over into using nicer yarns.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And that's one of the reasons that I don't have so much yarn right now is because I have really, purged down my stash.
Right. Yep. Well, it's hard to go from really nice yarn where you spent $20 a ball on it to back to, $2 cruddy acrylic. So... it just kind of spoils you. You figure out that there's nicer things out there and you don't have to suffer unless you want to.
Yeah. Or you don't care.
Well, then everything has its place, too. If you need something for a baby, you're not going to make it out of some nice, fancy wool. Because that's a waste. I
suggest superwash.
Even superwash, if you wash it too much, can still felt some. Or full.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Wool and cotton blends.
Some kids are some people are allergic to wool. So until the last thing you want is to spend so long on a baby blanket that the kid is allergic to.
Superwash. That's what I like to use for baby stuff.
Well, you're lucky then that the babies in your life aren't allergic to wool.
Yes, and on this point we may disagree.
Well, I always go for extreme machine washability over anything else. Well, you don't have any other finished objects, you said?
No.
Okay, so that's all I've actually finished. I've been really bad this week. I've been mostly reading, so my projects have been languishing.
You made a whole project.
Yeah, well,
that's better than me.
Focusing on that. Oh well. At least I got something done, which is usually not what I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so things to hyperventilate over. What have you got?
I have something on my iPad that I thought I would talk about. I thought I'm going to fill up 2 segments today with iPad stuff.
That's fine.
So let me get it up here. And of course, I'm pretty sure it's on the wrong one. Of course it is. So there's this game. Let's see if it'll go back to the menu. It's called Badland.
Okay.
And it's a game that you can get for your iPad or Android or... I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's on Android. I know it's on iPad because that's what I have it on. But this is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of like a doomsday world. And your character is this really cute little fluffy thing. And all you do is tap on the screen. And when you hit the screen, your little fluffy thing goes up. And when you let go, he falls down. So you have to save him from, like, all the stuff that's in the way. So I'm going to attempt to play something for you and see if it will go.
I was going to say, I hope our video will capture
let us do this.
Yeah.
So here I am with my little guy, and I have to, like, go around these things. And then there's, like, saws that come out and, like, saw you to pieces, and you have to avoid, like, all this stuff. But then, yeah, and then there's these fan things in my way right now, and there's a fan thing, and I don't even know, I can't really say. Oh, and then there's a whole bunch of me. So, it's really fun. I honestly don't remember how much I paid for it. I know it's a for-pay app. Mm-hmm. But whatever I paid for it is totally worth it. I've played this game so much, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous game. I love it. It's really, really nice.
That's cool.
And it's one of those indie, it's a couple of guys who just made a game.
Right. Which is always nice to support.
Yeah. So once again, that's called Badland, and it's really fun.
Cool.
By Frogmind, I think, is the maker.
Okay. Yeah. We can always link to it, too.
Yeah. So that's what I got. What do you got?
Oh, my nails. I don't know how often you do your nails. Do you ever do nail art stuff? I'm kind of obsessed with nail art on and off. So I do my own. Because I generally just think that the places you go for getting your nails done are a little grody. Just because I don't know how people sanitize stuff, and that's important to me. So, I found a good, really dark, sort of blue-green, mostly green, from Sinful Colors. The color is Calypso. I really like the color. Because I've been looking for a dark green for Slytherin nails.
Oh, of course.
Of course. So that's my newest nail acquisition of green colors. So I'm always trying to find new ways to decorate my nails in Slytherin styles. So I took a picture of it too. I'll link to it. And I also, for the first time, tried one of these new nail pens. This is I Love Nail Art Stylo. In Blanc Pearl, or Pearly White, by Sally Hansen. Let me see if I can get it in picture. Probably not. But if you see it...
Just hold it right there.
So, I thought, because I had no idea what I was getting to when I bought this, but I was hoping it would be finer than the fine nail brushes for detail. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're just like very few hairs to give you a fine line or dots.
Yes.
But this is kind of like, it works kind of like, what would you call it? Not like a whiteout pen, because that has a ball in it, but similar because you push on it to get the color.
Oh, okay.
And it's got somewhat of a little bit of a really firm brush tip. But it's real nail polish. Instead of ink. But it doesn't give as fine of a line as I was hoping, because I was trying to find something that gives me a finer line than the brushes.
Yeah.
This isn't it. But it works really great. and I still like it. And it gave me great lines. They're just thicker than I wanted.
Cool. And are you going to show us your nails?
I will, but they're on my toes, so I don't know if I can even get them in screen.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da! Probably not. I'll link to the picture. So if you have any ideas on, or if you've done your nails in Slytherin styles, if you're a fellow housemate, or interested in Harry Potter, that kind of thing, send me your designs, because I'm always interested in learning new things to do with my nails.
Or if you just like to paint your nails and you're not as crazy about Harry Potter as us, and just want to share us what's on your nails, we'd love to see that too.
So if you do your own nail art, we love to see it.
Yeah.
I love to see it, because I don't usually spend too much time on my nails, but sometimes when I do, I just really think it's fun. It's like a very small, tiny little canvas. So
yeah.
I have a great
favorite thing, a small, tiny canvas.
Small, tiny, anything. I make the smallest things. My mom always laughed about it. I made origami smaller than my pinky. So that's what I'm geeking out about.
Did you see, speaking of small, tiny things, did you see on Rav there was, like a feature page one day, and it had like it was featuring different projects, and there was like a little tiny polar bear? Did you see this?
Little tiny polar bear.
It was a little tiny crochet polar bear, and it was seriously smaller than the person's finger. That she was holding it like on the tip of her finger.
I did see that. We've got a link to that, because that's
so cool and so little.
Oh my gosh, and I saw that and I was like, this is exactly the scale of stuff I love to do. But then I was like, if I try to make that, I'm going to drive myself crazy.
You need special tools for that.
Well, I'm the one who made an entire set of clay pots on the wheel, no less, that were probably 1/4 of an inch tall. And I had to use chopsticks because obviously you can't use your fingers when they're that small. But I threw pots on the wheel that were that tiny. And I also made...
but better tools make for better eyesight when you're old.
Do that too.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I make lots of little projects. I love little things. So I might actually try to do something that small. But I don't know. Because I was thinking if you just bend a sewing needle, one of the fine quilting sewing needles, then you might be able to make your own little tool and have all sorts of fun. But then you also need thread that's small enough, and sewing thread's too big.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I stopped with that thought process. I was like, I don't know where to get the materials. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
I'll let other people make their small projects and ogle them. Which, speaking of small projects, this is totally tangenting, but...
As we do.
Tiny Owl Knits. I don't know if you know. Have you heard of them?
I think so.
She's done the one with the charm bracelet. There's like 3 different ones now. A new one just came out.
Uh-huh.
And they're all charms that are related to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The world of Harry Potter. So they're the cutest tiny knits. You know, and they're charm-sized, so they're minuscule. And each one has... is like, I don't know, the fang of the horny toad, flying horny toad or whatever. It's some animal or plant or being from Harry Potter.
Uh-huh.
And I know the first one had some kind of challenge to go along with each charm as you're making it. Like when you make some kind of happiness potion or whatever, then you have to go the whole day without saying something negative. Like that's the goal of when you're making the charm, So it has like a task that goes with each one.
Uh-huh.
And it's really cute when it's done. You got all these little tiny charms around it. So that's something I keep pondering on the back burner of my brain, because each one of those things is going to be, because they're knit, it's going to take me a while, and they're tiny.
Yeah.
Super tiny. They're like under an inch, or an inch or under.
Well, I'm really excited to go look into this. Sounds like it'd be cool.
They're really cute. And she just put out the 3rd new one. So, I think there was some kind of, coupon code. You'd have to go on and see if you can find it. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but for 20% off. I'm not sure if that's something that's still going on, but I just heard about it from a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
So if you want it, now's the time to get it, or try to get that third one. My last thing to geek out about is the tea that I got recently. So
New tea!
yeah. This is from Lupicia Fresh Tea. It's Lupicia, Japanese brand. This flavor is so good. It's Tsugaru Green.
Hold it up higher.
I don't know if you'll be able to see.
Yes, I can, but you just have to hold it in and still... Right there. Yay! Okay.
I'll link to their page. I'm pretty sure you can buy their tea online.
Uh-huh.
But I think only in continental US or in Japan.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a Japanese green tea flavored with Sun Tsugaru apples from Japan. Anyway, it's really good. I'm very big on green tea flavors that have bits of fruit for some reason. So that's my newest find.
I did not know that about you.
I love it. So I'm actually drinking it right now.
Learning new things every day.
Getting to know you. Sorry.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I break out in song a lot. It's going to be really hard not to.
Well,
that's
like
all
I
got.
care.
Well, yeah. That's all that I'm geeking out over at the moment. Reading a bunch of stuff, but it's all online. And independent writers, fan fiction. Books to stick your nose in.
Got anything?
Nope. Everything I've been reading has just been online.
Well, I have something that I think you'll enjoy.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
So, remember that book fair sale thing that I went to?
Right.
I got this book then, but I was saving it because I didn't want to use up everything in 1 week.
You're so funny. I have not got that kind of self-control or willpower or whatever you want to call it.
Well, and I also hadn't cracked into it, and I actually cracked into it this week.
Okay.
So this is the Lives and Letters, the selected letters of Lady Mary Wortley Montagu.
Montagu! Those wily Montagues.
And there's a little subtitle thing, The Remarkable Correspondence of a Traveler, Feminist, and Notable Woman of Letters, 1708 to 1762. Now, what you can do is tell me if this was before or after Jane Austen. Because I don't know.
Just slightly before. Well, yeah, before.
Right, okay. So I thought I would read a little bit.
Okay.
So the first letter in here I'm going to read to you because it's nice and short. So this is to Miss Anne Wortley, who will be her sister-in-law in the future, but isn't yet.
Okay.
I am convinced, however dear you are to me, Mrs. Anne Wortley. She calls her Mrs., but she's really a miss, so she's joking around.
Right.
I am no longer of any concern to you. Therefore, I shall only trouble you with an insignificant story. When I tell you I have been very near leaving this changeable world, but now, by the doctor's assistance and heaven's blessing, am in a condition of being as impertinently troublesome to you as formerly. A sore throat which plagued me for a long while brought me at last to such a weakness you had a fair chance for being released from me. But God has not yet decreed you so much happiness, though I must say this, you have omitted nothing to make yourself so easy, having strove to kill me by neglect. But destiny triumphs over all your efforts. I am yet in the land of the living, and still your MP.
That's pretty cute.
So I'm looking forward to reading more of it, because she seems pretty witty and funny. So
That does sound pretty funny. And I think we've all been there when we have a sore throat and we're like, I want to die, I'm dying.
Right.
And then your partner's like, yeah, you're all right, have a cough drop.
I know, right? So that's what I've been reading. Oh, and I actually did finish Bridges of Madison County the other day.
Oh, okay.
So I managed to pick it up because I've been a while, so I didn't have to cry anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So
I'd still be crying.
Yeah. Do you have any shiny this week.
New things. New things. These are the boots I got from Tracy. Let me get the light on them. Don't know if you can see the fancy toe.
No, not really.
Alright, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. Anyway, they're, beautiful, and I love them. They're, obviously used boots. So much more affordable. But I'm loving them. I sound like I'm wearing high heels when I wear it, though, because it's got a wood heel. So I sound like a horse, actually.
But they look like fun.
Clip-clopping everywhere. Yeah, and they're, if I ever get together some kind of steampunk outfit, they'll be great for that.
Yeah, there you go.
But they also kind of work as witches' boots for, Harry Potter world. They're just the right sort of worn dark brown leather color. So how about brainy moments? You got
Brainy
any tips?
moments. I have something for brainy moments. So the pattern that I'm working on is Genesis, and it's a top-down raglan t-shirt.
Genesis? I thought it was called something else.
Huh?
I thought it was called something else.
You're right. Gemini.
There you go.
There we go. Genesis.
We'll get it right eventually.
Oops, and I knocked my camera too. I'm just on a roll. Anyway.
We like to keep it exciting.
We sure do. So here's the raglan increases.
Okay.
This pattern, you increase every other row when you're knitting the lace part. And then it tells you to increase every row after the lace is already over.
Okay.
And I was very suspicious of this. I thought that something might be wrong in the pattern.
Right.
Because normally with raglans, you increase every other row. Like, that's what I've always heard with raglan shaping.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked online, I looked at other people's Geminis. I'm, like, looking at pictures and trying to, like, blow them up gigantic so that I can see the increases.
Right.
And I couldn't see any. And that's where my House Cup teammates come in. Because, I can just post a question on Ravelry, and I posted in the Ravenclaw common room, has anybody made Gemini? I have a question about the instructions. And somebody was like, I've made it, what's your question? So I asked her, and then I also asked in my dorm, and somebody was like, I've made so many raglans, let me look at the pattern. And she told me that in all the raglans she's made, it's increased every other row. But in this pattern, it does say to increase every row after the lace. And she thinks it's because the lace is so loose that the increases after the lace kind of make up for the looseness of the lace. Which I was like, okay, that makes sense. So then I was like, okay, I'll keep increasing every round. Even though it looked like I had a bubble on my needles. Like, it looked like this, like, giant, like, bubble thing. And I was like, this doesn't seem right.
Right. One of those moments where you're kind of, like, praying that the pattern's right, but still kind of dubious.
Yeah, I was very dubious about this. So, yeah. And then the other thing that is in this pattern that I just changed was when you knit down until you've knit enough increases, and then you knit a couple of rows for the sleeves. There we go. And then, let's see. And then you put these sleeve stitches on a holder, and then you just keep knitting in the round.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this. I'm not doing a very good job of showing you. There we go. So once you're done knitting here, then these stitches go on a holder, and then you just start knitting down. Well, on the instructions, it just says to put them on a holder and then keep knitting. So you don't, in the instructions for the pattern, you don't cast on any extra stitches underneath the arm.
Okay.
And just like that, just sounds like a recipe for a giant bubble in my underarm area. Like, pulling all that in, and then... So I cast on 4 stitches underneath the arm, and it was a good decision, because now it fits. So I tried it on, like, 4 rows after I did that, and it fits perfect. So I was like, yay! So that was my brainy stuff that I did this week.
Cool. Oh, I asked one of my knit group ladies because she mentioned that she did the Age of Brass and Steam.
Uh-huh. That's a
And,
shawl, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. I think that was the one without the no visible yarn over increases in the middle that I hate of a shawl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she loved it. So I might actually try to find something to make that eventually.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
as a random aside. Um, about my rainy moments, though, I keep meaning to tell you about this and forgetting. So this has nothing to do with Fiverr. But if you're at a laundromat and you're using their dryers, at least the new ones, I don't know about anything old, but if you hold down the start button and the temperature button that you set it on, like high, medium, low, at the same time, so you press your temp button and your start button at the same time, and the temperature of your dryer will show up, which is really helpful if you're keeping a close eye on knitwear or whatever you've got.
Huh.
So that's my brainy moment.
My dryer, it don't have no display, nothing fancy like that.
These are
It's a
industrial.
you put your quarters in the little. You remember when you were, a little young thing and you wanted stickers and you put your quarters in the little slot and you
Oh,
pushed the
yeah.
little drawer thing in and it took your quarters and then you got your stickers?
Right.
That's my dryer. Except instead of getting stickers, I get dry clothes.
Yeah, you've got a simple one. These ones are obviously like a digital display. And they're the huge industrial ones
Yeah.
where you could probably dry 2 loads of laundry, maybe even 3 if you were patient. So yeah, obviously it's got to have a digital display, and I don't know if it works on every, digital one. So I'm interested, if you're the kind of person who has to go to the laundromat like me. Sadly, my place is so small, we don't even have hookups, or I'd have rectified that situation long ago. But I find it interesting, because this is at the same laundromat where one of their dryers caught on fire. So I like to keep a close eye.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the whole laundromat was closed for like a month or two. And there was no signs. It's just like when they opened back up, there was a giant hole where one of the dryers was taken out and flame marks above it. Ironically, that was the dryer that had burnt a batch of our towels before. We pulled them out.
Ironically or not ironically.
Right, not ironically at all. So typically, or not surprisingly,
Yeah.
right?
There you
So
go.
it was kind of validating to know that I wasn't imagining it, that we did indeed burn an entire batch of towels.
Mm-hmm.
They smelt crispy when we brought them out, and they had a little bit of brown burnt stuff. These
Well,
are
now you know it wasn't your imagination.
all cotton towels. I mean, how hot did that thing get?
Apparently very hot.
Yeah, apparently. Hot enough to catch on fire and close down the whole joint for a month, so that was interesting. Anyway, so I keep a
Okay.
much closer eye now on the temperature. So you can try that. What do you use to wash your knitwear in if you have to wash it?
I use soak.
Okay.
It's a really gentle wash that's meant for anything delicate. And they sell it most places that have yarny things. Like Knit Pick sells it.
Okay.
And I have just like a bottle like this big. I still haven't run out of it. I mean, because I don't wash like that much
Right.
knitwear stuff because my socks and stuff go in my regular wash. So,
Yeah, it's now that I'm switching over to nicer yarns, I want a couple of them, like, if they're on my neck, they just get, they sweaty, so I want to wash them.
my partner just very nicely, she brought it over.
Oh, your assistant.
My
Oh,
assistant.
okay, gotcha. Well, if I can get it on Knit Picks, that's probably what I'll do.
Yeah, like this is a 4-ounce bottle. I'm not even halfway through it. I've had it for years, and I'm not even halfway through it. So, but
Yeah.
I am very low on the soap using, because most of what cleans your clothes. It's like in the washer. Most of what cleans your clothes is the agitation.
Right.
So I use a little soap to like loosen things up, but I don't go all out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it's really nice and gentle and
You like it okay?
and not like I don't remember it being exorbitantly priced or anything like that.
Good. Because I need something. And there's a million options. I just gotta figure out what works.
Yeah. So this is what I use.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Sure
I'll try to get some and see how I like it. I'll let you know.
Okay. I Spy Nature Lovers segment.
What do you got?
Oh, I'm so excited. I have been holding this in all week, you guys. I saw a snake. I saw a real life snake when I was out hiking. He was just, I don't know if it was a he or she, but I'm going to call it a he because it's easier than calling it a Z.
I'm not gonna sex a snake in the wild. That's just not high on my list of things to do.
No. So this snake was just in the middle of the hiking pathway. And this is not very far from the start of the hike. It wasn't like I hiked like way out into the boonies. Like it was just maybe 100 feet into the hike.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just there. And then, I think it had already seen me, so it like kind of freaked out and it did this like, and then it went into like the little bushes and then it was like, you can't see me. And it was all still. And it was like, I can still see you. I have never seen a snake in the wild before, so it was very, very exciting. And it was like a dark green, not a really dark green, like a dark sagey green, and he had a black head. And my partner says that he had like red on his jaw or something. I don't remember that, but that's what she said. So if anybody feels like identifying it, knock yourself out. But I didn't look it up yet. So, but I don't know. I'm still so excited about it.
Yeah,
so.
That's really cool. Snakes are one of those things that they're just kind of less of in general, so seeing one, especially in the wild, is just really a treat.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen maybe 2. Definitely 1, but maybe 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same, like, freak out. Like, oh my god, it's a real snake! It's like in real life!
I know, it's like in living color!
I know, you're so used to them being, like, in a vivarium that you're just like, oh my god, it's real! They really exist! Like,
I know,
of course
right?
they
It's
really
like this
exist.
feeling like they really exist. Like, seeing them in a cage or in a, not a cage. What do you call them? Terrarium?
Yeah, or vivarium, either one.
It's just not the same. It's like, it was just like, these exist? It's like, seriously, like a little squiggling line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
They are really cool. I love snakes in general. They're one of my top favorite things.
Yeah, and now I'm totally okay trying to be in Slytherin because y'all got the snakes going on.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah.
I never did show you my book of snakes. I think the name of it is called Serpentine, and it's just...
yeah, you did. I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I'll link to it because if you like snakes and are not freaked out by them, then you will love this book because it's just giant glossy photos, almost like glamour shots of snakes. They're beautiful. And just, they're a good resource for artists too. If you want to match your, dye some yarn in the color of a specific snake, or, make your project out of something that looks serpentine, it's a good place to start, because then you get to see how, most of the books on snakes are pretty simple and usually focus on, like, identification. They're just not very exciting.
Yeah, and this book it's like a coffee table book. It's got really big, beautiful pictures.
Right. So I'll link to that. It's really awesome. Check it out. 17. I can't... Mark Layata, I think. I have to check his name. Yeah. So, let's see. What else?
Do you have anything for I Spy?
I keep trying to identify that sneaky hummingbird, and no luck. This is going to be like the story of my I Spy every week. It's me trying to peek out the blinds and spy him, but no such luck. I've heard him less though, so I've had less opportunity. But everybody in the neighborhood is gearing up. I heard for spring. I heard a mourning dove going into detail outside my house again, and more mockingbirds. So
Would
it's
you like to hear this song again? Would you like to hear this song again?
spring. It's not even spring yet, you guys. Knock it off. Everybody's nesting, apparently. So, I'm surprised. It seems like an early start to the season, but who knows? We've had some unseasonably warm weather and...
Yeah, and not much rain.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe it is time to... Who knows? Yeah. Maybe we'll have a cold snap. One can hope. But that's all I've heard. Again, I keep not seeing anybody. Of course, the mourning dove was hoo-hooing at like 10 o'clock at night, so that has something to do with it. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Apparently. Yeah. Good gracious, that dove. Guys, nutters. I forgot they are one that kind of... They don't sing late at night all through the wee hours like the mockingbirds do, but the couple that likes to nest in the eaves outside certainly hoo-hoo into the late hours. Woo-hoo. Yeah. It's like I'm there. Oh, wait, I am.
Music of the moment. So here's my other app for today for the iPad. This one is free. And if you're a music teacher, you probably already have it. But if you have a kid in your life, it would be good for them. It's called The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
And Benjamin Britten wrote this piece called The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. And this app is really cool because it will play the music and it shows you a condensed version of the score while you're playing the music. It will also play a video while you're listening to the music. And it's really good for learning your different sections of the orchestra, like your wind section, your strings, your percussion. Mm-hmm. And it has a good close-up video of the instruments and the players. And it doesn't just have that. It also has quizzes. So you can play the quiz, and then it will play a little excerpt, and then you choose which family of instrument you heard. That's the first level. And then as it goes on, I think it will get harder. I haven't gone through it, but I think it will get harder, whereas it'll just play a listening example, and you have to pick out which instrument you're hearing.
That's pretty cool.
So, and it's, like I said, it's free, and it's just a really, really good application. And the music quality is good, too. So,
that's good.
And then there's a couple other games. There's a variation game and a fugue game, too. So.
That's cool.
That's what I had for music of the moment.
It's not music, but I did want to share a couple of YouTube links to things I found.
Okay.
One is, I'll share them in the show notes, but one is 11 Hours of Birdsong.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, right. So it's just like a bunch of birds tweeting away in a forest. And then the other one is a similarly long, I can't remember how many hours, but it's very long, of like rain on a tin roof kind of thing. So they're very relaxed. So if you're stressed out, they're very helpful. So I'll link to...
That sounds awesome.
Right. So, and I love having the birds tweeting on because most of the time I'm not up by the time that the birds are active. They're active in the early morning. So I'm usually not up then.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really nice to be able to listen without having to actually get up and go birding.
Yeah.
So that's not music, but it's related.
But kind of.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's musical bird songs.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like this segment's more like what we're listening to.
That's true.
And not just music, so.
Yeah. So I have a couple random things to share.
Okay.
Do you remember the book that I showed you on making your own zaris out of woven cloth?
Uh-huh.
The flops?
Mm-hmm.
If you have any fabric scraps or, like thin strips of fabric that you have, send them to me so that I can make some.
Or I will be making my rug out of those. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So you're going to use all your fabric scraps for that. Well, if you have leftovers, let me know.
Yes. I have... like, any of the strips that I have cut, I'll be using... That's why I cut them up. But I do have, like, a couple of old sheets.
Okay.
Which would be perfect for that. They're just not cut up.
That's fine. You can always send it to me and I'll cut them myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Because all the fabric I have is nice fabric that I have other plans for. I haven't bought anything that's, like, crud.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to waste nice, expensive fabric that cost $8 a yard or whatever on Zoris.
Yeah.
So, and then also, madam, you need to send me your foot size because I would like to make you a pair.
Yay! 7.5.
In centimeters, sorry.
Dang it.
Yeah, I know, I'm no help.
Okay.
But it's useful information to know because I buy some of my socks in centimeters, so.
Okay,
You
I will
know when you'll need it.
figure it out.
Okay, sounds good. Let me think if there's anything else. Oh, the Weasley sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They have started a cardio knitting challenge.
Uh-huh.
I guess the prize is some sock yarn or something, where you send in a skein of sock yarn of your own, and then I guess whoever wins, I think it's several challenges. So they parcel off the yarn to different winners. Anyway, I'm not interested in the sock yarn, but I was wondering if you'd be interested in some kind of knitting exercise challenge like that. Because I need to get moving more. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I guess I don't understand how do you relate it to knitting? Like you knit?
You knit and you walk, you knit and you work on your bike. You can get on a treadmill and knit.
Oh, is it you knit for 5 minutes and then you go walk around the block and then you knit for 5 minutes and you walk around the block?
You knit while walking.
Oh, you knit while you're doing whatever you're doing?
Right.
I just got ready for knitting in the dark. I don't know if I can knit and walk too.
I know. I picked knitting and walking. That's most people I think are using one of the little floor or recumbent bikes. So that they're watching TV, biking, and knitting at the same time.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah, right? I can't handle that kind of coordination. But I think I might be able to do some, like, simple stockinette or garter while walking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was going to do. They have a, what do you call it, like a forum thread for that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm not interested in the sock yarn, but I might just lurk and do, kind of set goals and do the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need something to motivate me to get more exercise. Like, I walked to knit group the other day, so that was good. Because that's like about 1.5 miles. A little under. And walking is one of the few exercises I can do easily other than biking. Which is harder because if I get a flat or something, I can't fix it. I don't have generally the know-how. So walking is a little safer bet.
And you mean flat as in your flat tire on your bike?
Right. Yeah, like if the tube gets a hole, Chris is usually the one that fixes that. He like peels the tire off, peels the tube out, finds where the hole in the tube is, patches it up, puts the tube back, puts the tire back. I don't generally do that kind of work.
All right.
Take 50. So, are you interested in some kind of prompt for getting us to exercise a little more?
I will be
time for that?
interested in trying something. I am very low key with exercise right now because I am still sick.
Right.
So, like, my exercise right now, it literally consists of, like, walking around the block. And whereas
But
I
that's
used
fine.
to be walking all the way to the beach, which was, it took me like 45 minutes, like to walk that far. Because I do enjoy walking, but just not doing that much lately. So,
That's fine.
yeah.
I
am interested in trying something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think it would help me be more motivated if I had to check in every week with you and then admit when I never walked.
Are we making a new segment?
We could. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So,
Some
what
kind
do we
of
want to
fitness
call
segment.
it? Oh, we can talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah. Totally.
So, keep your ears peeled for that. That'll be something new we'll be doing.
So, we are the Sisters of the Holy Fiber.
Thanks
You
for
can
joining
find
us.
us. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. And hopefully you'll join us again next time. Bye.
Bye. Find our show notes at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. Join us for conversation about this week's episode in our Ravelry forum. Thanks for joining us.